Okay, so very quickly to start this video off, I want to talk about basically all of the stuff that I have in my fridge in order to have a, in my opinion, successful calorie deficit diet while still feeling full throughout the day, still having energy, and still having fun eating. So I'm just going to go over everything that I've bought and what I have in my fridge. Let's go over protein first. Turkey breast deli meat, very important to me. It's very important for me to have things that I can eat quickly, things that I can throw together when I have a spare second here and there. And the ability to get tons of protein in by stacking like 4 to 6 ounces of this on a sandwich with low-calorie bread, some mustard, and some fat-free Swiss cheese is amazing. You can make sandwiches with this meat, low-calorie bread, non-fat cheese that are like less than 400 calories and have like over 50 grams of protein. Really, really good macros. This stuff's important to me. If you like it, get it. And get some mustard with it too. I'm gonna be putting stuff away while I call it out because I don't want anything to go bad. This next one is a little bit of indulgence, but I have organic turkey hot dogs. Now, here's the thing. Macro-wise, these are not the best. They're 60 calories each, and they only have 7 grams of protein, you know? So they do meet my kind of rule when it comes to diet food, which is that for every 10 calories, it needs to have at least 1 gram of protein. That's a pretty good rule to go by. And then, of course, you have to look at carbohydrates and sugars and fats and all that stuff and make sure none of that stuff is too high. While this is an indulgence, it does also kind of meet my minimum criteria for being a diet food, so it just barely fits. But I try not to eat these every day. They're just really good for when I'm not super hungry, but I should probably get some carbs and fats in so that I can have energy for a workout. Or just the day. And that's my indulgence. I just really like hot dogs. I know, I'm American as fuck, what can I say? Next we have all-natural sous vide chicken breast. The all-natural part doesn't matter, I'm just reading off the label. But this is pre-cooked in a sous vide chicken breast that I buy from a store. Already cooked, I buy it in bulk, and I just kind of use it throughout the week. You guys have seen me use it in my last video if you watched that video. If you didn't, here's a little snippet from me cooking it with buffalo sauce and all that stuff. This shit is a lifesaver. Whereas the turkey is more of kind of a lunch thing, you just grab it, throw it on a sandwich, eat it. If I want to have a nice meal for dinner, some chicken, buffalo sauce, in a wrap, maybe with a little bag of protein chips, that's your ticket. The macros on just plain pre-cooked chicken with nothing added are insane. It is so much protein, so low in fat, and so low calorie. The next protein source, because I'm going over protein first, is I have a case of lean ground beef here. This is 96% lean. I cooked it down, strained a bit of the fat off, poured in 70 calories worth of tomato sauce, a little bit of garlic, cooked it all off, and then seasoned the crap out of it and put it in here. Over the course of the week, I'll spoon out 3 to 4 ounces of this per meal, which will give me right around 40 grams of protein. Then, with the protein I get from whatever cheese I'm using with it, and whatever mode I'm choosing to eat the meat with, whether it's a wrap or a bun or bread, and we'll get to those, it serves that purpose really well. I buy a pound of it at the start of the week, I cook it up. Usually I go through about a pound a week. Sometimes I go through a little more if I'm feeling beefy. And then the last protein source, and potentially the most important one, egg whites. I am a breakfast fiend, and a lot of the times, even though I don't eat my first meal till usually like noon or 1, for no specific reason, I'm not intermittent fasting, I just wait until I'm hungry to eat. It usually involves egg whites, some sort of bread or bagel or bun, a whole egg, and some mozzarella cheese. Egg whites and non-fat mozzarella go together like cocaine and hookers, let me tell you. Neither of which I've ever had in excess. So now I want to go over the carbohydrate side of stuff. I have these 647 Old Time, and 647 Old Time is the brand that you're going to see a lot of because honestly, in terms of macros to taste, it's just the best brand that I have found. This one whole bagel, 160 calories, 20 grams of dietary fiber, 8 grams of protein, but here's the kicker, 50 grams of carbs. Now some of you might hear that and go, whoa, 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 you're eating that on a diet? A lot of the times, getting myself to eat before a workout might involve kind of coaxing myself a little bit, being like, but you get to have a bagel. I know you're not super hungry, but look, bagel. Having carbs is actually really important for you to function throughout the day. Your brain, your energy, you get a lot of it from carbs. It's really important to be able to eat, healthy, good carbs, not beer or anything like that. And a lot of the times, like today, for example, I'm going to go work out in about an hour. I'm going to have one of these bagels with egg whites and cheese, and those 50 grams of carbs are really going to help me by the time I digest it, have energy for my workout. And then, of course, what are hot dogs without hot dog buns? Again, I don't really need to say much. It's 647 Old Time, low calorie, 90 calories per bun. 9 grams of dietary fiber. I like the 647 stuff because it's got a lot of dietary fiber in it, which is super good. And then low-calorie Italian bread, because once in a while I do like just plain bread if I'm making like a pressed sandwich with cheese and chicken, or like a sloppy joe type thing with toasted bread. Yeah, just a bunch of different breads that are realistically just modes for my protein, right? So I pick a protein source and then I pick a mode for it. Today I want egg whites, or for this meal I want egg whites. What do I want to eat the egg whites with? Bagel today. And on another day I might be like, okay, today's ground beef, and ooh, you know what? I think I'll just heat it up with some cheese and put it in a hot dog bun and eat it like that. Modes, protein, and then you've got the stuff that makes it all fun. Fat-free cheese is, in my opinion, one of the most important things that you can get for a diet. This stuff, scientifically, I don't know what the science behind it is, but it doesn't feel like it should be possible for cheese to still taste this good and be 45 calories per fourth of a cup and have 9 grams of protein. So understand something. The average amount of like cheese, like if you were to just take cheese out of this bag and sprinkle it onto like a burger or eggs or whatever you're having, because you guys have probably done that before, the average amount you probably take out to be satisfied with the amount of cheese you got is usually 28 to 50 grams. 28 to 50 grams of this stuff is under 100 calories. And if you hit that 50 gram mark, you're at 18 grams of protein from a good protein source, dairy. If you are dieting and you don't have fat-free cheese in your arsenal, you're doing it wrong. And then the other incredibly important stuff, in my opinion, is all of the extras that you add on top. Not just the cheese, but stuff like mustard, 0 calories. Stuff like buffalo sauce, Frank's, Red Hot, 0 calories. Cooking spray, because I cook a lot, and 0 calories. Tons of different seasonings so you can season the crap out of your food so it tastes good. And just, you know, various hot sauces. I'm a big fan of Sauce Bay, no paid affiliation or anything, I just fucking love this hot sauce. And all this shit's 0 calories. So you're just gonna make your food taste better at no cost. And then there are things, and I only have one example of this at the moment, that I like to call the in-betweeners. Maybe you cook a meal and you're like, you know, so I've made it, I've got the beef, the bread, everything, but at the end of the day, this is only 45 grams of protein. I wanna hit 64, I wanna hit 65. That's where something like this comes in. I call this an in-betweener because you can have it in between meals if you're feeling a little peckish, but you don't wanna have an extra whole meal that day. Maybe you just need something to get you to the next meal. This is good stuff. I said that very weird. So not even just Quest chips, a lot of brands make really good chips, but I kind of have a bias towards Quest because in my first diet, Quest products were really, really important. I lost, 150 pounds and I ate a lot of Quest stuff. This bag of chips is 150 calories for the whole bag. Yes, it tastes good. It almost tastes like Doritos, 18 grams of protein, and it's super filling because of the amount of protein it has. You could have these with a meal. Like I said, you can have them to get to your next meal, or shit, you can have them after a workout. Shit, have them before a workout. There's not a ton of carbohydrates in here, but it will give you energy. Stuff like this, maybe like the sugar-free peanut butter cups that are high protein, hell, even if you want a goddamn protein cookie. Whatever you need in your diet arsenal to get you through the day, to make you happy with what you're eating and want to continue the diet. That's what's important. So with all that being said, I'm going to show you the last thing, which I didn't even plan to show you, but I'm going to go ahead and eat a bagel with some egg whites and 1 whole egg and some cheese. It's probably going to be like 370 calories. In fact, I'll just put the calories right here so that you guys know, because I do want to track my calories today specifically, because I have had a lot of people asking me lately, like, what's your diet like? Well, today you'll know exactly what my diet's like. I've had 1/4 of a cup of whole milk so far in my coffee. I measured it out. And then with the bagel, the egg whites, all of that plugged in, it's this. And then I'm gonna take this in roughly 30 minutes and I'm gonna work out in roughly an hour. Hopefully this has gone through my system. The carbs from the bagel are giving me some energy and I'm, ready to go kill it. All of this sweat and crazy hair has been brought to you by leg day and the darkness. My legs are so fatigued that I could barely make it down the 3 flights of stairs that my gym is up to get to my car to record this video, and I'm willing to bet that I'll barely be able to make it up the 3 flights of stairs that my apartment is located at the top of. I'm sensing a theme here. And it got me thinking about daily activity, daily energy expenditure. Now full disclosure, I tried to record this talk about daily energy expenditure earlier, and I don't really know if I got the point across really well. So let me be clear from the get-go. If you're dieting for fat loss, if you're dieting to lose weight, and you're going to the gym and doing, 30 minutes to an hour of cardio every day or whatever, and you enjoy that and that's fine and it's working for you, then you don't have to take this part of the video that seriously. But it is something that I wanted to talk about because myself and a lot of people, I feel, when you're trying to lose weight, don't necessarily analyze their lifestyle and kind of put all of their chips into the going to the gym and doing cardio basket. And if you're eating at a calorie deficit, I mean, your resting metabolic rate is probably higher than you think it is, because a lot of people are like, oh, my metabolism is slow and blah, blah. You can get an assessment of what your calorie maintenance is online, and I highly suggest everyone does that, and then just kind of from there analyze what your daily activity is and your resting metabolic rate and how much you're eating. And when you look at that number, you can also take your daily activity into account, right? Because if you're going to look at all aspects, then you should look at, well, okay, I wake up, what's the first thing I do? Do I go for a walk outside? Do I sit in a computer chair and get to work? Do I walk down to my car and then drive to work and then sit down at work and then walk back to my car and drive back home and sit down again? Like, a lot of people tend to, when they go to the gym, that's all they really think about. It's like, well, I got my cardio in and I got my workout in, and that's great. I would suggest looking at the rest of your life, really analyzing your daily activity and seeing where you could potentially get some extra steps in so that it does not impede on your lifestyle. And what do I mean by this? Well, don't take an hour and a half out of your day where you have shit to do to go for a walk if you already went to the gym and did cardio and did your workout and stuff. You don't have to do that. But what I am saying is, like, I went to the post office earlier, and rather than just walk into the post office, drop my mail off, walk back to my car and drive home, I walked like 5 blocks down from the post office to my friend's business and checked in, said, hey, how's sales? How's everything going? I was there for 5 minutes, and then I walked like 5 blocks back. That alone was like an extra probably 700 steps that I wouldn't have gotten had I chosen not to take that 15-minute detour. And if you do little things like that throughout the day, like maybe your recycling's only half full, but you take it down anyway because, well, you live up 3 flights of stairs and that's a pretty good amount of steps. It only takes you 5 minutes to do. Yeah, why not? Don't wait till it's full, just take it out now. Maybe your garbage is getting up there. It's not quite full yet, but you could take the trash out, so maybe you do that too. The apartment isn't dirty, the house isn't dirty, but I could clean up a little bit. Let me take 15 minutes to do that. All of that little daily energy expenditure really adds up, especially, and I can't say this enough, to reverse what I said earlier, especially if you don't have time to go to the gym and do cardio every day. Increasing your daily energy expenditure, maybe getting a step tracker or a smartwatch to kind of keep track of what your activity is, how many calories you're burning, all that kind of stuff, that for some people might make the difference. I don't know exactly how much of that I have to worry about because I am pretty active and I am losing weight. There's no need to overthink this shit. I mean, the scale's going down. I'm doing what I'm trying to do, so I shouldn't go, well, what else could I be doing? Could I increase my daily activity? Like, no, look, I'm losing weight. I'm doing what's working. I don't want to overcomplicate it and add more shit, so I'm not going to buy a step tracker and analyze my daily activity, but, just being of the mindset that, like, hey, I could be moving a little bit here. Hey, I've been sitting for 3 hours. Maybe I could get up and do something, take 15 minutes to do some chores around the house. Maybe I could go for a walk around the community or whatever, just whatever you can do. This is just all shit that should be kind of in your head. It doesn't need to be a focus, but it should be in your head. The same way that your diet is, the same way that weighing food, the same way that going to the gym, the same way that everything is in your head. It should just be something you think about, because I don't really think a whole lot of people think about it. And for some of you, maybe it doesn't matter, and for some of you, maybe it'll be the difference between seeing that scale go down and seeing it kind of stagnate. I said I would keep track of my calories, so just letting you guys know I'm drinking one of these right after my workout, gonna get it in as quickly as possible. It's a Core Power Elite 42 grams of protein strawberry shake. No sponsor. I just fucking love these things. They taste amazing, and the macros on them are insane. After drinking this, my calories are going to be here. It's also very important that I'm going to hydrate and get some electrolytes in me. Whether you want to do that with like an electrolyte pack or a 0-calorie Gatorade or something like that, that's up to you, but you should stay hydrated through the day and make sure you have electrolytes for energy's sake. I don't know what I'm going to eat next, but I mean, you guys will see in the next clip. I'm getting to the point in my diet where I'm not super hungry, kind of ever, and I don't know if that's because my appetite has just gone so down and gotten so used to eating so little food that it's just harder for me to get hungry, or maybe I'm just really fatigued. Like my palate is fatigued from the stuff that I'm eating the same stuff every day. But regardless, for the next couple of days at least, I'm gonna force myself to get at least my minimum allotted calories down and hit my protein goal every day, even if I am not super hungry, because while I am trying to eat at a deficit and lose weight, I'm gonna work out pretty hard this week, and I don't want my recovery to be a fucking week long. See you guys in a second. So I'm about to have my next meal, and I wanted to go over it with you because again, I'm tracking everything I eat in this video because I want you guys to know what a day of eating looks like for me. So this is gonna be a bit of a strange meal. I'm having 2 turkey hot dogs with a bun, of course, some mustard, which is 0 calories, and a bag of Quest chips. Now, if anyone watched the last video that I made where I called myself a glizzy gladiator, I basically went over the fact very quickly that in order to fit hot dogs into the diet properly and still get enough protein into my system, I needed to eat them with something like plain chicken. 2 hot dogs is 120 calories and the bun is 90, and it gives me about 19 grams of protein total. That actually falls under where I like to be in terms of protein. I like to get at least 1 gram of protein per 10 calories of my intake. So I mitigated that by cooking 170 calories worth of plain chicken and eating it on the side of the hot dogs. That plain chicken that I have, the sous vide chicken that I showed you guys earlier, is worth about 2 grams of protein per 10 calories. That way I was able to achieve the 50 to 60 grams of protein per meal that I wanted to get in that meal without increasing the calories too much, because if you do the math, in order to hit 60 grams of protein with hot dogs and buns, you'd have to eat like 600 to 700 calories worth, and that's more than half of what I want to eat in a day. So then, all of that being said, why am I eating something like 2 hot dogs and a bag of Quest chips? My total calories after eating the hot dogs, the bun, and the Quest chips is going to be about 360. 18 grams of protein from the chips, 19 grams of protein from the hot dogs and the buns. What's going on? That's not that great. Well, here's what I'm doing. The other important part of being on a diet is to find and eat foods that have what we call high satiety, which means foods that don't necessarily spike your blood sugar when you eat them, and then you're fuller for longer. Really, like appetite mitigation is what you're looking for if you're doing a purely fat loss diet. Problem being that I'm working out really hard this month, and I actually want to eat a little bit more than I usually do. I haven't been very hungry all day. I've had about 600 calories so far today, and it's almost 7 p.m. So in order to make sure I get the amount of calories and protein down that I need to get for the day in order to recover from my workouts, I'm going to eat a couple of foods for like, it's not quite dinner. I'm probably gonna have dinner in like 2 or 3 hours, but it's kind of an in-between meal. I'm going to eat foods that are going to kind of spike my blood sugar and not keep me satiated for too long. This is going to be 40 grams of protein, but it's going to be 40 grams of protein that isn't going to satisfy me for the rest of the night. Thus, I will be able to get another meal in, whereas if I were to have like 5 ounces of lean ground beef in between 2 pieces of bread with like some fat-free cheese, yeah, it would be more protein and more efficient on the calories, but I probably wouldn't be hungry for the rest of the night. However, if I have this now, I can probably have that exact same sandwich I just mentioned later on tonight, and that will get me to my 200 grams of protein that I'm trying to hit, and I will probably still be well under what my calorie limit is. So I'm not going to show myself cooking or eating this stuff. I just wanted to kind of quickly go over that with you guys. So here's the calorie count after ingesting these things. See you in the next clip. This is just a super quick aside. I'm not even plugging my mic in for this one. Whoever you are, man, woman, and anything in between, get yourself a fucking multivitamin. One that you'll enjoy. Honestly, for me, my multivitamin is something I take every day. Timing doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter when you take it. It doesn't matter if you take it in the morning or at night. Just take it every day and don't take it more than once. The serving of these is 3 gummies. And to be honest, I love the taste of these things. They genuinely assist with the diet. Yeah, I mean, it's 3 little sweet treats that I get whenever, and they're good for you.
Actually,
So my last meal, well, not my last meal. I mean, I hope it wasn't, but the last meal that I ate had pretty much exactly the effect that I wanted it to have. I was feeling not very hungry all day, and because of the high glycemic index, glizzies and bun and all that stuff, my blood sugar spiked and is now crashing, and I am ravenous. And now, with that ravenousness, with that hunger, I am going to measure out 5 ounces of this pre-cooked sous vide chicken. Now, upon further inspection of this chicken, it might not last quite as long in the fridge as I thought it would, or as it at least has been lasting the last couple times I bought it. Maybe this batch that I bought already was sitting in the cooler for a couple of days. I don't know. I mean, it smells fine. It smells like chicken. It just looks, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's aging, much like me. Not very graciously. But I'm measuring out 5 ounces of that chicken. That's gonna net me about 42 grams of protein for this meal. But we're not done there. I'm also gonna measure out 1 serving on the same scale in the same plastic container of fat-free mozzarella. You guys know it, you love it. I don't leave home without it. I keep it in my pocket at all times, just a little bit of it so I can throw it at people. You know, I keep that thing on me. That thing being mozzarella. So I'm going to zero out the scale, switch to grams, and then in the same plastic container, just weigh out 28 grams of this beautiful, beautiful cheese. And yeah, I'm going to be exact. Means if I hit 29, I'm going to take a little bit and put it back in the bag, because that's just how we do it. And if I'm at 27, I'm going to take a little bit and just, yeah, there we are. Now in this same plastic container, I'm going to turn the kitchen scale off because I don't need that anymore. In this same plastic container containing cheese and chicken, I'm going to add seasoning. A little bit of, what is this? This is, oh, fire forged sea salt. Well, I'm also adding hot sauce, so okay. I didn't mean to grab the spicy salt, but you know, I guess that's how we're doing it. Then garlic powder and onion powder, just to give it a little bit of extra garlic and onion flavor. And I'm just adding them kind of liberally on the top because I am going to be shaking it around. And then 0-calorie buffalo sauce. I add a good bit of that in because honestly I can't get enough of this stuff. And my personal favorite hot sauce, I showed it earlier, it's Sauce Bay. This stuff is really good. Thank you, Hot Ones, for introducing me to this sauce. It's the last good thing you've done for a very... Okay, so this chicken is substantially seasoned and sauced and cheesed and buffaloed. And now it's going to be shaken. I was going to do some kind of motion tracking thing here, but let's be real, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I could, but I won't. Just too much editing time. What are like 8 people going to see this? Okay, so now that this is all... Okay, so now that this is all... Okay, so now that this is all substantially mixed up, now I want to heat it up and I want the cheese to melt. So take a look at that. That is some buffaloed, sauced, seasoned chicken. And now I'm going to heat it up. Now remember, there are 2 parts to this. The protein and the mode with which I eat the protein. And that mode today is going to be this tortilla. I'm going to briefly heat this up on a pan because it's something a lot of people don't do. And a lot of people don't know why their wraps don't come out as good as the wraps that they get at like Chipotle or Bubba Coos Burritos if you guys have that near you. And there are 2 aspects to that which you are probably not doing. You're probably not heating up your wrap, even though every time you go to Chipotle, they have this giant fucking heat press that they slam down onto the wrap and then they lift it up and steam shoots out everywhere. And yet you make a burrito at home and you're like, yeah, I'll just pull this tortilla out of the bag and throw it on a cold counter. It'll come out the same. Like, no, you got to heat your wrap up, but you don't want to toast it. So I got the pan at like medium heat, but I'm not going to leave it on there for long and I'm going to flip it regularly. And then the other aspect is tin foil. Do you peel a banana completely all at once and then just shove the whole thing in your mouth? Maybe you do if you're eating it for OnlyFans, but if you're not like me, then you peel it a little bit at a time and you don't put it on OnlyFans. This aluminum foil will be wrapped around my burrito and keep it insulated, and then I can peel the aluminum foil away and eat the wrap like a wrap. Pretty simple, right? Okay, I just took this out of the pan. Ow, it's pretty hot. I'm gonna put it onto the aluminum foil. I'm gonna put the chicken on it. I'm gonna wrap it up as best I can. You know, you can look up videos of how to wrap burritos up. And then I'm gonna eat it. And that'll be the end of the video. I don't remember which side, but one of these sides is going to contain my calories at the end of the day. I'm not having any more calorie stuff for the rest of the night, and these are my calories. I definitely won't stop recording and drink a lot of beer. I never do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be losing weight, right? I have now been dieting for about 50 days, dieting and working out for about 50 days, and I have lost right around 22 pounds, if you want to know my progress. It's probably in the title of the video. But yeah, I hope some of you found this educational. If not, I hope some of you found it funny. And if you didn't find it at all, then you're not watching this, so you don't matter to me. And if you are watching this, you do matter to me. And I hope you liked the video so that you matter to me more. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. Who am I kidding? I was never ahead.